Week 4 of the All-Time Rosters franchise begins from the driving rain in Jacksonville, Florida. Plenty of defense in this one, and the Saints' Sam Mills begins the game with his first interception of the season. That one of 2 on the day from Mark Brunell. Michael Thomas reels in his 3rd touchdown, and the Saints knock out the Jaguars on the road 13-3. To no surprise, Patrick Mahomes has been as good as anybody at the quarterback position this season, and his Chiefs try to maintain first in the AFC West against winless Minnesota. Mahomes would take off and score in his first rushing touchdown of the season, then throw 2 more, both the former Super Bowl champion Otis Taylor. The second late in the half would give the Chiefs a 24-3 lead over Minnesota. This game appeared to be over, but shout out to Fran Tarkenton, who had a brilliant second half. He finds Randy Moss for his first touchdown pass of the year, believe it or not, and then Bobby Bryant intercepts Mahomes and brings it back 26 yards for a critical touchdown, but that is as close as the Vikings would get. Bobby Bell of the Chiefs stuffs Adrian Peterson on 4th down. The Vikings are 0-4. The all-time Chicago Bears looked like the best team in the league on this day, completely dismantling the Carolina Panthers. 2 touchdowns from Sid Luckman, that's Johnny Morris and Bill Hewitt, and then 2 interceptions from the defensive star Charles Tillman of the Bears. This one to seal a Chicago win, 27-0. Good one from Cleveland between the all-time mixture of the Titans Oilers and the all-time Cleveland Browns. Both clubs 2-1 this season. Earl Campbell was a terrific football player, but did have an issue with the fumbles in his career. He commits one there in the first half, then another to begin the second half, picked up by Eric Turner. The Browns 2 plays later would take the lead with a touchdown from Otto Graham to Max Speedy, but credit to Tennessee Houston in the 4th quarter, marching all the way downfield, then backup Derrick Henry is in for this touchdown to tie the game at 10. Otto Graham in the clutch as good as anybody in the history of the game. He finds Warfield, then hands to Jim Brown, who does the rest himself, and the Browns take the lead with 1:12 to go. Ensuing kickoff to Ernest Givens, the hero of last week's overtime win against Denver. He loses a fumble, the 4th turnover on the day for Tennessee Houston, and the Browns' Jim Houston recovers. Cleveland comes away with a gut-wrenching win, 17-10. They have a bye next week. Meanwhile, Tennessee Houston will visit the Steelers. Speaking of the Steelers, they got way more than they bargained for against the Texans on the road in Week 4 of the season, and these fans had a lot to cheer about, especially in the first half. Andre Johnson has had a marvelous year, ties the ball game here at 7 with a long touchdown catch, and then Watson finds the end zone again. This is Kevin Walter, and Houston leads going into the 4th, 14-10. The Steelers down to 1 play in the 4th on upset alert. Go for it all with a Roethlisberger deep shot on 4th and 8, and Antonio Brown somehow comes up with it and scores the Steeler touchdown. Jonathan Joseph, a phenomenal football player, leaps in front of it, but Brown just a little bit better to give the Steelers the lead. The ensuing drive ends in a disaster. Watson intercepted 3rd time today, this by Mel Blount, and then 3 plays later, Pittsburgh puts the capper on this one with a 19-yard score from Le'Veon Bell. The Steeler defense was terrific. Jack Ham with 2 interceptions in the Pittsburgh win. And while the Texans were just a play away, Pittsburgh comes away with a double-digit victory, 24-14. Antonio Brown, a big day on the road. Randall Cunningham and the Eagles, on the heels of a shutout win against the Giants last week, will try and hand San Francisco their first loss of the year at the Lincoln, Philadelphia. The Eagles off to a great start in this one. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter from Randall Cunningham, first to Van Buren, then the second sparked by an interception here from Asante Samuel, the Eagles corner with his first pick of the year. Tommy McDonald has been brilliant with a touchdown in 2 consecutive games, and Philadelphia leads at the end of one 14-0, but you knew that San Francisco was going to come back. Touchdown Hugh McElhenney, then a 1st and goal score to Terrell Owens, tied at 14, and the Niners begin the 3rd with a long drive, but Chuck Bednarik, who's had a phenomenal season, forces the fumble, and Fletcher Cox recovers. The Eagles would march downfield themselves, and Pete Retzlaff gets behind the secondary, and the Eagles have the lead late in the game. final shot for San Francisco. Rice, a good idea to get him involved, gain of 18. Reggie White, the minister of defense, with the sack on third down, and then forces the incompletion on fourth down, and White single-handedly closes the game for Philadelphia. Disheartening road loss for the Niners as Reggie White wrecks things late for Philadelphia. We've seen moments of brilliance out of this phenomenal all-time Rams offense. They play host to undefeated Washington today. Backup running back Marshall Faulk caps the opening drive of the game with a 42-yard touchdown catch. But Washington would make the play of the day in the second half. An 80-yard touchdown catch to Gary Clark, who's in for the injured Art Monk, out for another month and a half with a back injury. Eric Dickerson was the best running back on the day in St. Louis. A huge run here for the Rams starter, and then Dickerson lunges in for the go-ahead touchdown, then helps win the game on the ground for LA St. Louis. The Rams are now 2-2 this season. A disheartening performance on the road for the all-time Bills offense. The Jim Kelly touchdown pass to Hall of Famer Andre Reed would be the team's only points of the day. Chad Johnson would get behind the secondary here for a 52-yard touchdown from Ken Anderson, a field goal late, and the Bengals would win this one 10-7 as Kelly's fourth down desperate heave is incomplete to Stephon Diggs. A disappointing season for both Detroit and Dallas. They'd meet in Week 4, and the Cowboys were the only team to show up. Emmitt Smith is first to 2 touchdown runs on the day. Meanwhile, Cowboys safety Roy Williams has his second interception of the season as Dallas dismantles Detroit by the final score of 26-3. Big day from Hall of Fame running back Emmitt Smith. His Cowboys have a bye week in Week 5. The all-time Giants and the all-time Cardinals from the desert in Arizona. The Giants' Lawrence Taylor are going to be the nightmares of all Cardinals players after this one. A forced fumble here, returned for a touchdown by Emlyn Tunnell. Then the Hall of Fame linebacker gets involved again. A hard pass intended for Roy Green, intercepted by Taylor here and brought back to across midfield. Lawrence Taylor with a Hall of Fame day with 2 takeaways for the Giants, and New York leads late in the game 13-6. The aforementioned Roy Green does bounce back, however, a 31-yard touchdown to tie the game, but Eli Manning was not going to go down without a fight. First down to Amani Toomer, then a screen pass to the spinning and leaping Saquon Barkley, and then the Giants' Tiki Barber will close out this drive. A first down to the 5, and then on the following play, Tiki Barber is in the end zone for New York, leaving less than a minute out of timeouts for the Cardinals. They need a touchdown to tie it up. But Jim Hart and the Cardinals would end the game with a whimper, a fourth down deflection by Perry Williams. The Giants 27, the Cardinals 13. The Seahawks maintain a tie for second in the NFC West with a win against Atlanta, but Seattle would be behind going into the fourth quarter 10-6. But Russell Wilson throws just his second touchdown of the season to give Seattle the lead here late in the game to Doug Baldwin, and the defense would prevent a single first down the rest of the way. Cortez Kennedy the sack. Seahawks win 20-10 over Atlanta. With a 123.2 passer rating, he's the highest rated passer in football right now, Aaron Rodgers. Wearing those beautiful retro uniforms, all-time Green Bay takes on all-time Denver, and the Packers offense was rolling throughout. A touchdown to Lofton, but then Shannon Sharp, the Hall of Fame tight end, is one of the 2 touchdown recipients from Elway on the day. DT in for 6, and the Broncos' lead would only last a minute. Sterling Sharp in the Sharp Bowl gives Green Bay the lead, and they would not relinquish it the rest of the day. The Packers' defense was outstanding in the second half. This third down desperate throw from John Elway deflected and incomplete. The final pass of the day from John Elway. The Packers would run out the clock and win the game at home 20-17. Big day from Aaron Rodgers, who will hit the road to Atlanta next week to play the Falcons on Sunday night. Game of the week featuring 2 of the original franchises of the AFL, the all-time Patriots and the all-time Raiders. No Randy Moss, no problem for Stanley Morgan, who's gone from 69, but that Patriot lead wouldn't last long. Brady loses a fumble that Millen returns for the go-ahead Raider touchdown. The first of 2 touchdown runs from Patriots tailbacks on the day, this from Curtis Martin to give New England Boston the lead. Fred Biletnikoff played well too, over 100 yards for the Hall of Famer, and 2 plays later, Marcel Reese was in for the go-ahead touchdown. We pick up the action late in the third quarter with the Raiders in front by 3, and Stephon Gilmore makes his first big play, forcing the fumble of Brown, picked up by Sam Bam Cunningham. 2 plays later, Jim Nantz is in for the lead in a back-and-forth battle from the Coliseum. Start of the fourth, and Biletnikoff strikes again. A big pass play of 45 for the Raider receiver, and then on 4th down, Todd Christensen sets up a 1st and goal for the Raiders, and Bo Jackson caps it off. Jackson and the Raiders lead late at home, 27-24. The winless Patriots do have the king of comebacks in Tom Brady on their hands. Terry Glenn begins the drive and is shaken up and will miss this season. He fractured his shoulder blade on the play, joining Randy Moss and Lawyer Malloy on a filled injury report for the Patriots. But credit to this offense. Down so many playmakers, Stanley Morgan steps up in a big way. That's a 23-yard touchdown, and the Patriots are back in front, 31-27. Another vintage drive from Ken Stabler, who's pretty good in his day as well. And on 3rd down, he finds Branch to set up 1st and goal for the Raiders. 3 plays later, from the 4-yard line, Stabler has it knocked away by the aforementioned Stephon Gilmore. Then on 4th and goal, Gilmore, the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, knocks down another pass to seal the Patriots' win in a game filled with fireworks, 58 points, 806 yards, and 34 first downs. One of the games of the year. Patriots win 31-27. Phenomenal day from both Stabler and Brady. The game that was supposed to have the fireworks was the showdown in San Diego between Marino's undefeated Dolphins and Dan Fouts with the 2-1 Chargers. The go-ahead touchdown from Lance Ulrich would be the last score of the day. Tyreek Hill converts the 4th down here, but Marino and the Dolphins would run out of time. Another launch of the end zone from Marino, and this one's picked off by Derwin James. The all-time Chargers maintain a tie for first in the division with a victory today, 14-7. In a battle of 1 and 2 clubs out of the AFC, Ray Lewis and the 1 and 2 Ravens, Curtis Martin and the 1 and 2 Jets. The Hall of Fame running back Curtis Martin scores his league-best 5th rushing touchdown of what's been an outstanding season. Not the same story for Lamar Jackson. He's the league's lowest-rated quarterback this season at 55.2, and his Ravens would fall behind in the 4th quarter, 17-3. Credit to the quarterback, though, with this touchdown drive. First to Jamal Lewis, then in from Vonta Leach. The Jets' #1 running back, Curtis Martin, to win the game. On 3rd and 4, he is inches away, giving the ball back to Baltimore with under 2 minutes to go. And credit to Lamar Jackson, who had been much maligned in these late-game scenarios throughout his career. He finds Qadry Ismail for a big play. Then on 4th and 2, the Ravens find the end zone. Derek Mason ties it at 17. Did they give too much time, though, to Captain Joe Namath? He finds Rich Castor here, and the Jets, still with the timeout left, find Al Toon to enter field goal range. Then to walk it off, the kick is right down Broadway. The Jets defeat the Ravens by 3. Monday Night Football pits Tom Brady and the all-time Bucs against Peyton Manning and the all-time Colts. Tampa Bay could be one of just 3 teams remaining undefeated on the season with a win at home today. Manning did his part, a couple of touchdown passes. Marvin Harrison and Hall of Famer John Mackey give the Colts the lead, 17-6 in the second half. Tampa Bay's Warrick Dunn, 3rd in the league in rushing, is in for this 42-yard touchdown scramble, but the Buccaneers wouldn't score the rest of the way. Brady was underwhelming throughout the second half, and the all-time Colts close it out with Hall of Famer Edgerrin James. The Colts improved to 2-2, the Bucs to 3-1. 3 1,000-yard passes this season, Peyton Manning, Dan Fouts, and Aaron Rodgers, and there are just 2 undefeated teams left, all-time Green Bay and all-time Pittsburgh. Here's a look at the week that was for the scoreboard of Week 4 and a preview into Week 5. A reminder, the all-time roster's injury report and roster breakdown for guys like Terry Glenn are going to get replaced, who's out for the season. What's going to happen? Tune in tomorrow morning. This is the all-time rosters franchise with Charger Dude 95.